We're back. For the second race, we've reversed the top 8 from yesterday, and everyone here is getting ready for what's shaping up to be a thrilling conclusion to the weekend. I'm not the only one sitting here today who's looking forward to today's race. My friend and ex-GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi next to me is already on the edge of his seat awaiting the start of the event. How's it going today?
Hello there, Alex. I'm great, thank you, and very excited to get started. I have a feeling we are in for a very special event today.
Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with the F2 Mick Schumacher career mode, back once again from the Belgian Grand Prix, this time around here for the sprint race. If you missed out on yesterday's feature race video, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out, of course, before we dive into this one here today. But yeah, 9 laps ahead of us though, once again around the Ardennes Forest. It's looking like it's going to be a full dry weekend. Who would have thought that heading into Belgium there? You always expect a little bit of unpredictability around this racetrack. But yeah, race pace yesterday was really strong. Maybe, just maybe today we can try and get ourselves right towards the front of the field, or end our win drought, I'm going to call it, from since the British Grand Prix, the British feature race a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I'm excited. I love this track. Let's just dive right into it then here for the sprint race. 9 laps ahead of us around this Belgian Grand Prix circuit once again. It's 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and away we go, rather predictably. Not getting off to a particularly good start there, as you can see. Matsushita, Eilot, and our teammate Schwartzman try to look past us down in towards the first corner. We don't go as aggressive as we did last race. And luckily around this time, we do get through turn 1 nice and cleanly. A couple of places lost, though, unfortunately, as we head down the hill for the first time. Hopefully our low aero package will still really help us out here as we head up through Eau Rouge and Radion for the first time. Look at the run we've got on Eilot. About to bail out a little bit, stuck in too much dirty air behind Matsushita and Schwartzman, but this has given us a huge overspeed on all of these cars here as we head up the Camel straight. Oh, Matsushita moves out in front of me into the braking zone there. We almost ran into the back of the Eilot there as well, as we have taken a little bit of front wing damage in this Grand Prix, and that is not what we needed at the start of this sprint race here as Samaya flies past us as well. As we head down the hill, we're trying to look back around the outside of the Brazilian here, but yeah, not the start that we wanted there. I think Matsushita just tried to have a bit of a look on our teammate Schwartzman just as we were trying to not run into the back of Matsushita there. The damage isn't too bad though. If you guys remember all the way back, I think it was the Spanish GP sprint race, we got a bit of front wing damage there and it didn't cost us too much. But down to P11. As we head in towards the final few corners of lap 1, not what we wanted. Pedro PK still leads at the end of lap 1 there, but the damage isn't too bad like I'd originally thought. Blanchimont is still flat out, which is nice to see. But yeah, it's mainly sort of the right-handed corners that are costing us time here, so Eau Rouge might be a little bit interesting. But yeah, on to lap 2 though. Still just behind Nikita Mazepin in this race. How is Eau Rouge gonna be? Still completely flat, just about, but yeah, I think if we get a bit more dirty air, we might struggle. A little bit closer to Nikita Mazepin as we head up in towards Blanchimont at the end of lap 2. With a lot more dirty air, is Blanchimont still going to be flat out? A lot of steering lock on the way in, but it is just about pinned as we have a look to the outside of Nikita Mazepin there. He gives us a big old squeeze in towards the final chicane, but we get the front wing in front. We got the inside for the second part. And we're up into P10 of this race, so still quite clearly able to make forward momentum here, as Purple through the final sector as well though, but Pedro PK leads the way as we head on to lap 3 still, and I think the Brazilian learned from what Matsushita did yesterday and is just trying to walk away at the start. The DRS train is even more powerful than it was yesterday as we lock the rears through the first corner. Obviously the front wing damage doesn't help us out all too much either, as we head back down in towards Eau Rouge and Radion once again, but hopefully now we are a little bit closer to Callum. Obviously this is exactly where it went wrong on lap 1, but we have still got a good run on the young Virtuosi driver there. He's going to go defensive on me. We'll have a look to the outside, 202 miles an hour on the way into the corner there, as Callum does give us the room. He's going to give us a big old squeeze though through the second part of the corner. We'll try to keep the nose there as we use all the exit curb as well there. And I think we've just slipped around the outside. He's going to have the nose there still as we head down through the hairpin. But have we been able to hook this up? I think we have just about there. We've got the inside down the hill. And we're now up into P9 of this Grand Prix. I think a fair aim is still a couple of points in this Grand Prix. I think I thought about I'm looking towards Puon. Whereas that probably wasn't a good idea, but he did force me into an error in the process. As we run horribly wide on the exit of the corner, Ilott, after all of that, will get the position back. Ilott going a bit defensive in towards the final chicane. This battle is not done and dusted just yet. It's Pedro Piquet, new fast lap of the Grand Prix. We get right around the outside though of Callum Ilott in towards the final chicane there. And hopefully now we can leave him stuck battling with Nikita Mazepin as we head on to lap 6 here. We're already 2/3 of the way through this sprint race here as all. Big lock up through turn 1 is not going to do us any favours. Matsushita 2 seconds up the road. I think we might just be able to get to him, but it's going to require some perfect laps, and it'll be right towards the end. 2 to go here from Spa-Francorchamps, and I'll be honest, I think we were a bit optimistic in hoping to try and close down the gap to the guys in front of us. The gap's actually opened up even more as we seem to be focusing on our mirrors, with Ilott just behind us still. And yeah, I think points are out of the equation today, unless we get a late race retirement from one of the guys in front. It has not been a sprint race for us. I've said in yesterday's feature race that Belgium hasn't been the kindest to us on F1 2020, despite how much I love this track. Today has unfortunately been one of those days once again. Is Ilott going to be able to get a run? I don't think he's quite going to be close enough up the Camel Straight. He is certainly gaining on us though, so might be under even more pressure come the final lap. Pedro Piquet dipping down into the 158 as we head onto the final lap of this Grand Prix. But yeah, the gap's still in front of us opening up, and the gap behind us is not doing the same. Callum Ilott less than a second back still, so he will get DRS. It's important we get a good run through La Source, really try and get it down into first gear on the apex. Use all the extra rotation, as TR Limitless would say, and then short shift on the way out for the traction. As Ilott 6 tenths back. The gap just coming down further and further. We need to absolutely nail this for the final time, which we have done so, and I think hopefully now we're just about safe enough from the young Brit behind us as we head up this Camel Straight once more. Yeah, we should be pretty safe now, unless he goes for some suicidal lunge in towards the corner, which of course Callum Ilott will not, because he's pretty sensible. I'll be honest, he's had a pretty quiet F2 campaign in this Mick Schumacher career mode. He really, just hasn't had any major results, but he's also been a pretty decent top 10 finisher most weeks as well. They're very much overshadowed by his teammate Guan Yu Zhou as we head through the final few corners of this race, and that is not going to help us. Just picking up a bit of understeer through that turn 9. And unfortunately now we've got even more front wing damage. Hopefully it won't cost us any places towards the end, but really we've got nothing to lose out on. We're not scoring anything at the moment anyway. I think it's all just pride on the line between myself and fellow Academy driver behind us. Tyre warning light has just come on as well. That means the tyres are up over 60%, but in towards the final couple of corners, it has been another race where pole has been set to dominate here. You build up a gap early on, watch the cars behind you scrap it out for the podium places and the rest of the points, and Pedro Piquet looks like he's about to make it 2 race victories in 2 weekends here. After winning last time out at Hungary in the feature race, Pedro Piquet rounds the final couple of corners and is going to take on the sprint race here from Spa-Francorchamps on a 58.8 final lap as well there. Tremendous pace from the young Brazilian, but through the final corner, we are going to come through for P9 at the end of the day there. Yeah, a day to forget, I'm afraid.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Brilliant stuff from Charouz today. What a superb victory. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and chariot strategy, what has occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
Looks like they're on their way out onto the podium now, and what a result this is, and a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Charus team on top here today. After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the driver's table. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I say Robert Schwartzman. He was committed the entire race, and it's paid off with the result.
On to the teams then. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Another team that will be satisfied with this race is Charus, whose good result moves them further up in the championship. There will be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you'll join us at the next race when Formula 2 returns.
Well, there we are then, the end of the sprint race here from the Belgian Grand Prix, and, well, Spa is normally known for having plenty of overtaking, but just one man inside the top 8 didn't finish where he started even. That was, of course, our teammate Robert Schwartzman, 10th to 7th in the end. They're the only man to really make up places in that Grand Prix, and pretty much all of that was done at the start there. But yeah, you can see Pedro Piquet ahead of Guan Yu Zhou and Yuki Tsunoda on the podium there. Sato, Armstrong, Drogovic, Schwartzman and Matsushita round out your points finishers there with Schumacher and myself and obviously Ilott rounding out the top 10. Mazepin just missing out there in 11th ahead of Samaya, and the rest of your order on your screens as well there, as you can see. Yeah, I think fair play to Pedro Piquet. He is absolutely carrying Charus off the bottom of the Drivers' Championship and the Teams' Championship at the moment there. Championship-wise, though, the gap's 62 still over Markelov, who is now 1 point ahead of Guan Yu Zhou here. So that gap, well, Markelov could find himself outside the top 2 for the first time this campaign as we head into the Italian GP weekend next time around there. Matsushita now just 8 points back from Guan Yu Zhou as well. So yeah, the battle for P2 at the moment really heating up there. Drogovic as well, looking strong on 119 there, and Schwartzman still on 110, the last man over 100 points at the moment there. Armstrong ahead of Tsunoda, who gets the jump on Mazepin. Piquet, yeah, moves himself right up now into the top 10 there. So a couple of really decent weekends for the young Brazilian there, as well as you can see the rest of your order. Sato moving up, Alesi moving up past Jack Aitken as well there. But teams-wise, 62 now the gap has come down to, as Charus jump past Campos and Dams there, tied now with Campos for 8th place there. And it looks like, yeah, Trident, Dams, Campos and Charus all still battling it out for the wooden spoon there. High-Tech still just ahead of them there, and you can see, yeah, the rest of the order remains unchanged. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we will be back next time round, ready at the Temple of Speed. We head to Monza. You guys do not want to miss it. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.